Hello, in this video, I'm going to talk about the writing process and how to narrow the topic when you're writing an academic essay. So here's an overview of the writing process. Most people agree that the writing process includes stages like planning, organizing, writing, and revising. And if you are writing a research paper, probably you will do some research both at the beginning and in the revising stage. An essay is made of paragraphs, and so each paragraph needs to have a clear topic, which is related to the main idea. Sometimes we think of the parts of the paragraph as being like a hamburger. So here you can see you've got the topic sentence. That's often the first sentence, which tells you what's the main idea of this paragraph. And then it's followed by some kind of interesting detail or reason and ends up with a concluding sentence. If you scale this up to the 5-paragraph essay, we'll often find that the introduction has some kind of fun fact or controversial sentence in order to get the reader's interest. Sometimes that's called the hook. So here, the top part of the bun just says introduction, but you could imagine this as a attention getting and also a way to connect with context. In the middle, there is an exploration of the theme, and it's going to conclude with some kind of reminding the reader about the main point. So it's useful to think of an essay as being built from paragraphs. I don't think that every essay is the same, and so we'll see various different kinds of way to organize content. Here are some examples of how we could narrow the topic. So imagine that the teacher said to you, okay, please write about study abroad. And so then you think, okay, I'm going to write about the place, New Zealand. Okay, but that's not enough just to write about New Zealand. I need to write something which has a point of view. So the topic which is suitable for a paragraph could be the reasons I want to study in New Zealand. Here's another example. The broad topic is nature. Okay, I'm going to write about nature when I was a child. I want something even more specific than that. And so I'm going to write about planting seeds when I was a child. And you might say, what age were you? What specific memories do you have? And another final example is about festivals. So, okay, your teacher says, please write about a festival. Okay, I'm going to write about Halloween and then go into detail about the costume that you want to wear, for example. Those are ways of getting from a broad topic to something very specific. And our final example is the environment. If we just say, okay, there are lots of problems with the global environment nowadays, let's narrow it to problems caused by consumers and the CO2, which is caused by garbage and especially packaging. So this can lead us to think about the solution as well, which could be to reduce the amount of packaging that we use and also to recycle correctly. And here's a final example. We've got so many examples here. Animal intelligence. Okay, and let's look at dolphins. So we're going down to something very specific. But you could find a 5-paragraph essay about dolphin intelligence because how do dolphins communicate? How do dolphins know where they are? Do dolphins experience emotion? So you could already have 3 paragraphs which are about dolphin intelligence. So your first paragraph is going to be introduction to the idea that dolphins have a high intelligence. Then you're going to have dolphins' intelligence and communication. dolphins, intelligence and finding the way, dolphins, intelligence and emotions, and a conclusion which looks back and says, dolphins are an example of animals being intelligent. So you can see how in academic writing, we're looking at quite specific information, not too general information. Here's one more example. So over to you. How would you narrow the following topics? Please choose 3 and see if you can make this kind of breakdown to something specific for 3 of these topics, so that you're going from a general title. Okay, I want you to write about food. Okay, I want you to write about the food in your country. Okay, I want you to write about the food and health in your country, for example. So see if you can play with some ideas, and then I'd like you to submit a lesson plan for how would you narrow the topic for 3 of those topics. So it's going to look like these pyramids that we had, and you want to go down at least 2 levels down to pick something specific. Write it on loose leaf and upload it to Moodle. Are these topics too broad, or are these topics too narrow? What do you think? I think these are pretty good, actually. So these are examples of narrowed down topics related to the large topic areas we had in the previous slide. Living with Japanese tatami, yeah, possible, isn't it? Should English be compulsory? Okay, and that's all from me today. Please go to Moodle and upload your ideas for making more specific chunked down titles about 3 of those topics. Bye.